Bust it, Exhausting every chance, these victims of circumstance dance in a circle of confusion with cold muses who grab the soul with a tight grip, then uses up all your power while the weak man he loses. And it's deep how whenever man speak now he refuses to remember the abusers and all the people he misuses. And ain't no excuses, cause in every situation man chooses his own plate, his own fate, his own date at redemption. And only fools and babies get exemption, cause in the hereafter school, see we all stay for detention. And did I mention, it's either ascension or dissension, no third dimension, so pay attention. Watch it,
How did I get so far gone? Where do I belong? And where in the world did I ever go wrong?
Where did I ever go wrong?
If I took the time to replace what my mind erased, I still feel as if I'm here, but I'm gone.
I'm gone, I'm gone.
Perched up in a rocking chair, with my feet all bare, rolling my blunt in a cigarette, living adolescent mind, never do take the time, waiting for my high quiet ass is kept. How did I get so far gone? Where do I belong? And where in the world did I ever go wrong?
Where did I ever go wrong?
If I took the time to replace what my mind erased, I still feel as if I'm here, but I'm gone.
I'm gone.
Mama told me I was best, arguing, punching my chest. Son, now be strong, let me take you home. I'd see in her eyes so sincere, screaming what got me here, standing in the world with my mind all blown. How did I get so far gone? Where do I belong? And where in the world did I ever go wrong?
I don't know.
If I took the time to replace what my mind erased, I still feel as if I'm here, but I'm gone.
I'm gone.
How did I get so far gone?
How do I?
Where do I belong? And where in the world did I ever go wrong?
Where in the world did I ever go wrong?
If I took the time to replace what my mind erased, I still feel as if I'm here, but I'm gone. I do nothing but waste all my time, leaving the world behind, smoking my crack just to keep me high. Around the boys I play my part rough, keep myself tough enough, never to cry, never to die. How did I get so far gone? Where do I belong? And where in the world did I ever go wrong? If I took the time to replace what my mind erased, I still feel as if I'm here, but I'm gone. How did I get so far gone? Where do I belong? And where in the world did I ever go wrong? If I took the time to replace what my mind erased, I still feel as if I'm here, but I'm gone, gone, gone.
The Breakfast Bowl, loaded with One Blunt Radio's unique blend of the truth, crossed with the right questions on KSOS DB Denver.
Every Monday, 8 a.m., hosted by Kush Don't Care 2016. That's Dr. D.B. Kush and Long Hair Don't Care. So pack your bowl and smoke with us. SOS, Smoking Son, the official SOS News. Yeah, that's right. You tuned into the Breakfast Bowl. I just had me a breakfast motherfucking dab. Best way to do it is take it to the face. You know what I'm saying? You got DJ Long Hair Don't Care and you got Dr. Kush. And between the both of us, we bring you a blend of a different style morning show. If you caught volume 1 last week, we might have threw you off a little. Like, you might have thought they're at each other's neck. Well, how you going to get a good morning show if everybody's disagreeing on every point? You got to have good logical debate. And that's what this show's about, stoner debate, where we're taking the hottest topics in the news and we're talking about it with a stoner twist. And that's what it's
both
about.
Of us, I think we do agree 99% on things, but we both also are really good at playing the devil's advocate. So that throws in a fun little game.
Well, I mean, for a lot of people, for one, the news is set up that nobody's able to give their opinion anymore. The news, like what we was watching on Friday, when we watched the lady talk about the finances, okay?
Right.
And she made that key point statement, and her key point statement was this, right? She said, well, for one, 14 people own the world.
Right.
For two, look at the big picture, right? These people own the news. So therefore, we never get real news depending on the situation. If this situation is something that the 14 don't want out, they shut it up.
Correct.
So, that's why people like us, and that's why the internet has gotten so big, and that's why you see new stars, because they couldn't get in control of those houses and those shows and those TV shows.
Well, and that's what they initially said in the early 2000s was going to happen, and the response to that was the cable Fox News and the cable MSNBC and the cable...
Yeah, but they bought them up.
Right. Right, exactly.
I mean, look, even current
No,
TV,
that was their attempts to
say
veil it,
right.
to hide that they were actually biased still.
Right, but see, look at it. You had current TV that was supposed to be, at this point, Al Gore body. It's supposed to be, okay, if nothing, this is the most liberal and away from mainstream, right? Then they sell out to Al Jazeera.
Right.
Now, who owns Al Jazeera?
No, I don't think anybody in America owns a company named Al Jazeera.
Well, I think that's part of the Murdoch family.
What?
You got to really look deep in behind who owns what.
Well, yeah. I mean, that obviously just spells out a lot of where the Murdoch family is
Now,
involved.
why is Al Jazeera all over America? Like, if you look at our stuff, we get a lot of their channels. We get a lot of their news stuff. Look at your Twitter feed. It shows you Al Jazeera journalists.
Big, yeah. A lot of journalists.
Facebook, too.
Are picking it up and retweeting their stories.
Yes.
Almost as much as the Huffington Post.
That's what I'm saying. You get where I'm going now?
You know who owns the Huffington Post?
Who owns the Huff? Do you know who owns the
Right
Huff?
now, no. But right now they seem to be succeeding in pulling the veil over the most unbiased.
Well, I mean, think about it.
They've got both sides of the news spectrums pulling their stories on a regular basis, too.
If you didn't even know that 14 people pretty much own the world, you wouldn't know that these same people own all the news.
Right. Well, and if you didn't know that, you wouldn't have believed me when I was saying that, 14 people are running the government, fighting over running our government, because those 14 people are getting their businesses, because they're the only entities that can afford to write 1,000-page bills, to write these bills skewed to themselves. They're the only entities that are able to spend $1 million in lobbying these, so that, again, and then what's an extra couple $1 million to lobby something that you're really going to have to push hard, because there's a lot of bullshit in there that's that's basically whipped cream, cherries, and sprinkles on top of your winnings for the company presenting this bill, and then it's passed in, and it ultimately screws the taxpayer. And I'm scared for everybody who has money in the stock market, you know? I mean, think about it, people. 45 times we've raised the debt ceiling is since 1980. That's 33 years now. We've raised it 45 times. We're raising the debt ceiling again here in 3 months, or else we're at the same point we were last week. There's a big reason that the United States government hasn't liked Hugo Chavez, Venezuela, and Chevron gasoline, and that's because they didn't take United States loans. They didn't take money from the United States to give back to the United States and be taxed on it and charged interest in order to build them an infrastructure. They did it themselves. And after all of that spilled over and all of the big accusations of what Chavez was as a drug cartel and a kingpin and a big murderer and all of that stuff, when he stood up well enough and the people stood behind him and nothing happened and the government backed down because they couldn't put anything on him, time passes and look at that country. There's a lot of rational people in America who have been studying this and who do feel that the economic situation in America is never going to get better and just continually spiral downward out of control. That's where they're looking to move. South America. Because that's been the little known source of the resource-based economy in the world. That's what they're trying to work out of. Put your people to work and give them something of value for ultimately giving you something of value.
Think that's gonna work?
I think so. I mean, if you look at the difference, what we do is that we tell you you have to go to college to get a good job. And in order to go to college, you got to get out with anywhere from, unless you're either wealthy going into it, an extreme athlete, or an extreme genius, you're coming out, in other words, for 99% of the population, with $20,000 to $150,000 in school loans right out of the get-go. And that's if you're not counting the credit card debt because the students had to work their own way through. That's not counting the car loan. That's not counting the this, that, and the other. You know, that's just directly the school loans. So it's hard not to say that in America we're forcing ourselves into slavery. You look at the Saudis, and 20 years ago, they were secretly the big joke because all they were doing is making people princes every day and having harems and new princes being born every day, and every prince had to have a yacht, and everybody was laughing, ha ha ha, sure, they've got, you know, an American press and they can print dollar bills, $20 bills until they feel that they want to turn off the spigot and stop printing them, you know. But the reality was they were pretty much airheads. They caught on to that. They caught on that there was no infrastructure for the city. There was no, you know, for their major cities. They caught on that they had no workers, no intelligent workforce. And now they've got kids that are going to CU by the thousands, you know, just CU alone by the thousands, free. They're buying them cars to come to school here, you know, just because their grades are well enough. And India did that essentially for a while. They didn't go as extreme as Saudi Arabia, but yeah, I mean, there was a flush. That was kind of one of the big secrets about that car buyback deal a few years back, is when they were giving cash for clunkers $5,000 and stuff. Really, a lot of those sales that were boosted from that time were from the Chinese and the Saudi students coming over and basically being paid and given rewards for being smart enough to go to school in America, of having nice houses, nice cars, and you're talking about coming from out-of-country tuition of nearly $20,000 a semester, and yet in America, we're making kids struggle to pay $5,000 a semester.
Right. Well, they got to keep their heads up. We're going to give y'all a quick break and shout out to the sponsors, and we will be right back.
I heard church bells ringing. I heard a choir singing. I saw my love walk down the aisle on her finger. He placed a ring. Oh, I saw them holding hands. She was standing there with my man. I heard them promise till death do us part. Each word was a pain in my heart. All I could do was cry. All I could do was cry. I was losing the man that I love, and all I could do was cry. And now the wedding is over. Rice has been thrown over their heads. For them, life has just begun, but mine is at an end. All I could do was cry. All I could do was cry. I was losing the man that I love, and all I could do was cry.
Colorado 2014 Ballot Initiative 3. Prohibit penalties for possession of cannabis. Shall that be an amendment to the Colorado State Constitution directing the judiciary branch of all governing bodies in the state of Colorado to prohibit their courts from imposing any fine or sentence for the possession of cannabis? Yes. Team One Blunt Radio supports and backs Ballot Initiative 3. Stop penalties for the possession of cannabis. Make it right. Put the nail in the coffin. Every dollar goes towards 100,000 signatures, and we need 100,000 signatures to get this on the ballot. Call 303-886-7998. That's 303-886-7998. Or you can go to reliefforpossessions.web.com. That's reliefforpossession.web.com. Put the nail in the coffin and make it right. Initiative 3, 2014. Colorado support.
Longhair. You seen Dr. Fish? I think he's in Casa del Smoke.
Longhair. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think so. I already have dozens of half-ounce blunts, a couple ounces of wax, and Miss Bongathon packed in my suitcase.
So, Dr. Kush, what are we going to do today?
You know me, Jams. Longhair. What we do every day. Hijack the world.
HollywoodRadio.com
has been hijacked
by One Blunt Radio, the highest show on the planet. Every Monday through Friday from 2 to 4.
So stay tuned and stay high. SOS. Smoke one, son.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Bowl on KSOS DB Denver, One Blunt Radio. Good morning, everybody. It's a cold morning in Colorado. Streets are crazy, fire trucks are out, police are out, there's a shooting, and we're going to avoid the rest of that. Facebook is down. Fuck Facebook anyway. That's what I say.
Facebook has
Have
taken
to use
face
it,
crunch.
but man,
I don't know, but I just got a mail said somebody put a share up. So some people are able to share it, some people ain't.
yeah,
So
mine was
hopefully you
working
wouldn't-
okay, really.
So maybe you're in the wrong part of the country where you wasn't able to share, or wrong part of the state that you were shareless. Sucks for you.
Sucks for you.
Because I got a message that said somebody was sharing. Miss LeMay, shout out, it was working for her.
Yeah, it worked all right for me this morning. I came across a story this morning from, it was, here, let me open this up here. It's from Kentucky. Come on, the Kentucky Voice. Marijuana is not a medicine.
Who's the writer?
Frank Rapier is the writer.
Frank Rapier?
Rapier, R-A-P-I-E-R, yep.
We want to know who's crap first.
Right. Well, and this paragraph right here sums everything up for him. Marijuana is currently a Schedule I controlled substance under the Controlled Substance Act and is still not approved by the Food and Drug Administration. Yet 20 states and the District of Columbia, through ballot referendum or legislation, have seen fit to ignore sound science and reasoning to sanction this harmful substance as medicine. We were just reading off a report the other day that was passed around on Twitter from NORML, a scientific journal document. They shared no such items here, but yet if you go to Twitter and you search cannabis and you friend all of those people, you're going to get retweets. Actually, if you just go to NORML and find one NORML, they're going to send you 15, 20 retweets a day about how this scientific journal from Ontario, this scientific journal from the University of CSU, this scientific journal from MIT, blah, 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 goes into the effects of this stuff. And we even came out to a study that showed that people who smoke cannabis in some cases have had nicer, softer pink tissue in their lungs than people who have never smoked anything in their life.
Well, I mean, for them, I would just like them to go tell all those patients that use it now, as myself, that helps you to eat, that helps you to not be nauseated, to help you not to go to sleep. I'm talking about people like myself. So I'd like them to go and sit down with people like me and tell me where you want me to follow the Food and Drug Administration, where they want me to have Vicodin. They want some Percocets. They want some oxycodone. They want to load you up with what I call, as I said, the test market, the test dummy syndrome. Give him this pill, give him that pill, give him this pill, give him that pill. Let's figure out which pill either jacks him up the worst or might fix him.
Tying Facebook into this, I saw two really good posts this weekend. One was a guy with a concave head and scars all across his head, and seriously, this poor man had at least the front 3/4 of his brain removed due to some sort of accident. And once again, it was a Kentucky Christian organization is what seemed to have originated this post on Twitter, and it started off talking about people on the pot do this to themselves in spite of knowing the dangers and blah, 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 and they inject it and all these things, and it was like, wow, I cannot believe people are that stupid. To think that pot is so bad it'll cause your head to, that any drug, aside from that crocodile stuff, is bad enough to physically cause damage to you right now. You know what I mean?
Well, you know.
A plant that's been around, and that if you Google the plant that's been cultivated 12,000 years, it brings up articles from High Times, so you're going to have to talk to them about where their sources are. But that for quite possibly the first known cultivated plant, which means intentionally we selected the best plants and took the seeds from those plants to plant next year was cannabis. There's cannabis pollen all over the tombs of the ancient mummies.
Well, that's because they knew what to smoke. They wasn't dumb like some people. They was up on their game. That's probably why they look so good and they live so long, too. Tell that.
There have been scientific studies on the endocannabinoid system inside the human body. So why are we given a system to function on something if this plant isn't something we're supposed to have? You go back to things the other way. I just don't understand how people can be that ignorant and closed-minded and then not even list any scientific sources when you say ignore sound science. Where? There's only ever been one scientific article relating to the what's the term? The lethal dosage of cannabis. Yet we have so many pharmaceuticals out there that are prescribed to people that their lethal dosage depends on what else you consume. Your body weight, all this, that, and the other.
Hey.
You can't smoke yourself to death. It's just impossible.
Well, they haven't pulled out the first person to do it yet. It's been a lot of years of smoking. What you think? You think they're going to make it happen?
The only way they're going to make it happen is by asphyxiating someone, and the coroner's not going to determine the cause of death as THC then. It's going to be asphyxiation.
Well, that wasn't
you have to smoke the equivalent of 20 packs of cigarettes worth of joints.
I could do it.
So that's 400 joints in 1 minute.
I can do it.
You could.
You got enough lighters to keep up with me? Because I'm going to be smoking. I'm going to be smoking. Man, I don't know.
Could you imagine trying to hit 400 joints at once?
Yeah, just... One hit might take you out. Hey, man, that's just the people being idiots. And nobody's going to keep up with it. And that's the blessing of this long hair. We can't be mad at them. You know why? Because we have no business without idiots like that. You feel me? Like, we have no story to tell, long hair, if idiots don't keep stepping out the woodwork being blinded by no facts.
Right. Well, this plant was around before voting, and I don't remember getting to vote on whether prescription drugs were legal or not.
Right. Did they put Vicodin on there and say it might not be legal? Let's vote on this on Congress to see if it's okay if we get this out. No, they just came out and said, this will stop your backache. Your knees won't hurt that bad no more.
Got a toothache, this will
And then on a small piece of paper it wrote down, but it might give you nausea, headaches,
or like they say,
backaches, spasms, lightheaded, thing.
And then at the last they say, could cause death.
Could cause death.
Right.
You might go psycho.
Right.
But if you do, you go into jail. It's not your fault though.
But you know what one funny thing is too, you never see, you know how you watch on the news, you know, every now and then you see those commercials that come on, contact this law firm, we have a new settlement if you've been taking this drug. Never heard of that coming with. If you bought any cannabis from the medicine man, we have a new settlement plan. Call this number right now. You know what I mean? You don't hear nothing about that about no weed. Everybody makes a big fuss about it.
And let's look at like your body's a walking chemistry lab, and the way they deal with most of these things is they give you metals. Whether you're looking at the Vicodin itself or anything like that, a lot of these things still have heavy metals in them, just as their fillers. But let's say they feel that you're bipolar. One of the most common prescriptions for being bipolar is lithium, a heavy metal. A metal that's toxic to you in the wrong amounts. Very easily small amounts, to where it's something that they could prescribe you an amount where if you accidentally took 2 pills one day, you're in a pretty messed up state. You do it a few times too much and you've really destroyed your liver.
I mean, let's be real here. You can, what was that movie, hoodlum.
Yeah.
The guy had the rat poison on his ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, you can give somebody a small portion of rat poison and they won't die as long as it's a small portion. You know what I mean? And we're talking rat poison here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's anything that you give somebody on a small amount. You know,
it's a slow kill.
Right, it's a slow kill. And then another thing it is what people don't look at is the reason why we say, well, you know, I don't remember voting for Vicodin or for anything like that. Well, you got to think about it. Why would I let you vote for something that is going to tear down your body? And look at the big picture here. What is one of the biggest businesses of the United States is medicines, is drugs,
right.
is things like that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put this medicine out that, okay, it's going to cure your headache, but in 10 years it's going to make your kidneys crash.
Well, and I turn it around and I go a little bit further than that and say that the government has intentionally been experimenting on us with our prescription drugs, as well as removing the nutrition from our foods, substituting it with known carcinogens that we really recognize as being safe. Never mind all of your additives that you can't name off that you think are carcinogens. We know that the soy protein is a ginormous molecule, and it doesn't break down. It interferes with things, and it gets in the way, and it causes your body to increase its estrogen production. When you have an increased estrogen production, you're lower in your antioxidants, and that causes an increased risk to your cancers. Women are just naturally more at risk to cancers than men. Men with high testosterone levels, athletes, have also a higher level of estrogen because more of that testosterone is available to be turned into estrogen. They still have the same ratio, but both parts are in higher ratios. So that's why you see athletes and Lance Armstrong being really the only one to come out, but there are a lot of them that testicular cancer is actually a big thing in the sports world.
Well, that's because we're pill dummies. And they're going to keep testing us as long as we're allowing them to feed us with all these pills. And like I told the VA, y'all cutting that shit back. We're not going to just keep giving Freddie pills. Ever since y'all been giving me pills, I've been getting worse. So I'm cutting back. I'm going to find a different alternative to do the same thing that y'all telling me needs to be done. It has to be an alternative.
And you know the thing that, I know I don't mean to butt into your show.
No, go ahead.
Actually, I do. You know, it's crazy when you think about it, how you remember back in the early 90s to the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a big thing about animal testing, about how, you know, you couldn't test drugs on animals. You know what I mean? You couldn't give animals, remember they would do shampoos and drugs and things like that. And they had big rally groups that had big fits about, you know what I mean, testing on animals. Well, where are these big rally groups and all these big activists when it comes down to them testing on humans? And the way they do this, they don't just publicly say, well, you know, we're going to have this testing on you guys. What they do is
we immunize third world countries.
Right.
That's how we do our tests now.
We'll say,
we used to immunize our soldiers.
Right. You know what? Okay, what we'll do is we're gonna go over here to, let's see, name a starving nation right now that's going through it. I don't know.
Darfur.
Boom, somewhere where they don't have any medicine. Well, you know what? We're going to look like the good guys, and we're going to go over here, we're going to poison these people. And we're going to send another group of people, after we poison them, we're going to send another group of people to try to fix them. And then, what we're going to do on top of that is all these kids that are over here starving now because we killed their parents.
We're going to blame it on the rebels.
Right. We're going to bring it on the rebels, and we're going to send our armed forces over here
to take land. Great cycle of destruction.
And like one of my
favorite, in the view of humanitarian.
And you know what I say? One of my favorite sayings is, only in America does this kind of stuff crack off. You don't hear about Russians sending, you know what I mean, testing their people and doing all this crazy stuff. What you hear about other countries doing is giving free health care, where it doesn't matter what it costs, we're going to take care of it. And yeah, you know, you're going to be treated kind of messed up, you know what I mean? And I might sound ignorant for saying this, but in America, we do the most dirt, you know what I mean? We treat people the most messed up. Our people, the most messed up. Americans are treated like shit. We don't treat foreigners like shit. We don't say, well, you know what? You want to come in here from Mexico or whatever? You got to take these pills. Then you're going to have to be a test junkie for 5 years, but we'll let you live here. We don't do none of that. You know what we tell them? They come on over. You know what I mean?
Here's a check.
Right, here's a check. And matter of fact, bring some of that weed with you. You know what I mean? Bring some of them drugs with you. Shit, we're going to give you a nice loophole for 5 years to bring it in here, and we're not even going to tax you. But if you're an American, we're going to give you 20 years for them drugs that you bought in here.
And this is a good, tasty moment.
I'm really encouraged by how many people in general I've talked to lately that really understand a lot of this, and it's not like
I
shocking.
told you, a lot more people's awoke than they believe.
And
that's because
that's good. The only thing that leads me to wonder is that old saying that if voting really were able to do anything, they wouldn't let us do it.
Right.
But there's enough people that are realizing right now that some of the apathy from voting has been, it's that catch-22. So many people are disenfranchised with voting because this is what we have, and on the other hand, this is what we have because everybody's disenfranchised with voting.
I mean, I don't know. If you listen to rap music, one of my favorite rappers is Young Jeezy, and he had an album called The Recession. And in one of those songs, he said it seemed like Bush was out to teach all of us a lesson. You know what I mean? Each and every one of us. Real G shit, man. It's really unheard of where you get more time for selling dope than murder. You know what I'm saying? That's here in America. Anytime that you take a country that was at one time the richest country ever, but we have the highest unemployment rate.
We never ended the war on poverty. We just changed the name.
No, you know what we did? We never ended the war on poverty.
The name.
Yeah, we turned it into we called it a war on drugs. And who did that? It was the Reagan era who initiated that.
Bush Senior, because by that time Reagan was so out of his head he didn't know what was going on.
But you would have never had the title War on Drugs if it wasn't for the Reagan administration. That's who started that. It was the Reagan administration.
And again, it was originally the war on poverty,
Correct.
But they found out real quick they couldn't put bums in the jail and the public be happy.
Right. So what they say, we'll blame it on the drug dealer. Or we'll make him the drug dealer. We'll call that bum a drug dealer. We'll say that bum didn't have anything because he was living on the street selling drugs. And really that bum wasn't doing anything. It was just a cover-up for society to say, well, we're going to blame this on this person. How do we get 1 million kilos past the... What is our armed forces?
How do we get them past the borders?
That's what I'm saying. What do we call it?
Border Patrol.
No, what is our armed forces? The best... Supposedly the best.
That's right. That we brought it back the best way we could.
Right. With the armed forces, the best.
On that note, y'all, we're gonna give you another quick break, and we'll be right back. And shout out to Sandy, Vixen Beats, and good morning, Miss Michelle LeMay.
Commitments while I'm thinking just graduated from Cannabis University.
Ooh, a university man.
I learned all about the law.
Oh, you bad boy.
And I learned how to grow my own medicine all in one day.
All day?
I learned other things too.
Cannabis University? Teach me.
Call 303-886-7998 or go to CannabisUniversityInc.com.
Medicine Man, Denver. 4750 Nome Street, Unit B, Denver, Colorado. www.medicinemandenver.com. MedicineManDenver.com. Do you have your golden ticket? I got mine. That's right. Deals every day from Monday through Sunday. Sponsor of the 1BR team. Let's go.
Bam, y'all. That's right. It's the breakfast bowl. Woo. Got bowls of buds. All syrup or vapor.
We're
and hot
talking
topics.
We're talking some big things. I wanted to, unless you had something else, throw out some big numbers real quick. 2011, Wikipedia states.
Oh, hold up, before you do that.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to everybody that came to the rally this weekend.
Oh yes.
To all the activists that showed up, to all the participants, to all the people that came through, to all the zombies that rode through, to the people on the Segways that was partying on the Segways with us. The Segway tourists. We're going to mess with y'all. One Blunt Radio is going to come down there and shoot a video with me all on Segways, and we're going to do the whole team on Segways. We're going in. I'm doing my next video shoot on Segways. I'm going to get a Segway scene with the Segway Tour Company, and y'all going to help me do it. I want to make sure I do that. Now I go ahead, long hair, because we did have a long day Saturday. We had to give a shout out to everyone.
Yeah, no, that was a great day.
Great day.
Thank you to all the beautiful people from Colorado that came out.
Great speeches.
Grabbed your VIP bags.
Yes. We gave away a lot of VIP bags. And we had a lot of great speakers.
Yes. Yes, a lot of good information.
Art, Billy Alpondo, Colorado Cannabis Coalition, Craig Barige.
We may have to put together another special just to put out on all the new information we got on the reasons against AA. There's a lot of this is a bad bill.
I think we're gonna do a special AA show, and I'm gonna chop all the interviews, and I'm gonna bring them all in, and
because unfortunately a lot of them didn't even touch on some of the things we had been saying too, which was so yeah, it was a busy day.
Like, we're gonna become a verbal flyer. That's our goal, guys, to be a verbal flyer. So we're gonna put out as many shows between now and November 5th about No on AA. We're gonna make sure we give you at least 3-4 shows between now and then that we target AA, and we have people call in, and we get the activists involved. And you might hear the same speech 100 times, but we don't care because it's not in the voter book. So we have to become demise. We have to become that page that's missing. And that's why we threw the rally. That's why we're being so conscious of making sure that we display this word to you regularly. Because if AA goes through, y'all going to get beat up. And people with red cards, you better watch it, because they're going to be coming after taxing us higher next. Know this.
Well, and that's not the end of it necessarily either. That's the bad precedent that it sets, is when you pass one bill that
allows them to change the
circumvents the taxpayers' Bill of Rights, then they're going to start writing more.
That just
every bill. Not they're going to start writing more.
Rights in the face.
They're going to start writing more of these anyway, and we're going to have to start watching for these. Yeah. But if this one wins, they are all going to be written this way.
Right. So that way, in the under, we tell you the Tabor means nothing, and this is how we circumvent it. But this is what I say: we need to vote those people out that's writing those laws. We need to get those people out the office. People need to stand up and rise. Stop not voting. Get registered. Go vote and vote these people out.
They fail to recognize that the increased revenue from a product that was never on the market before, and now a tourism market that was never in existence before, all of these increased things alone are going to cause an increased tax revenue for the state. People are going to be renting cars, renting hotels, buying food, buying cannabis, going skiing, going to movies in Colorado, doing whatever tourist things they wouldn't have done or that they would have done somewhere else, but they wanted to come this year and take a picture of themselves inside a store spending cash money at a cash register to get some other greens. It's just crazy that they failed to recognize that there's going to be an increase in revenue anyway.
Well, we have a tour company, and if y'all want to come here and you have a party of like 8, we'll be glad to charge you $400, and we'll take you around. We'll take you on a tour of some dispensaries, take you to some of the hot smoking lounges, and also have you come sit on with us on one of the hottest shows for MMJ related in the world, Craig. That's what we're going to do for you. We have a tour bus, beautifully wrapped, dabbing situation. You would love your moments with us. SmokingColorado.info. Shameless plug, bitch ass. What you got for us?
All right, so quick math for you. On January 1st, 2011, Wikipedia has France as having a population of 65.8 million people. Jump to the last 30 days. U.S. envoy is summoned to France to answer questions about the 70.3 million French phone records that the NSA has drawn in the last 30 days. That means they checked everybody plus some in France, apparently.
The NSA from here?
That's saying that in 2 years the French population has grown close to 5.8 million people, and that we wiretapped every single French person.
Babies included.
So now France is asking the NSA over, going, hey, are you claiming every French citizen is potentially a terrorist? Is that could be construed as an attack of war in a long stream of chase of things, you know? What are you guys doing? That just ruined, I mean, you know what I mean? Like we're real friends with the French and they're a real powerhouse, but they are the major governing force in the European Union.
Maybe enough things came across that we had to pay attention to. Maybe we're asking French, what are y'all actually doing? Are y'all setting up to get us and think we ain't paying attention? Do we need to make this phone call and say, hey, what's up, motherfucker? Because there's a whole lot of extra shit going on with you and Al-Qaeda, motherfucker.
Or they're just doing them like they've been doing us forever.
Right, and we nosy.
Right.
Don't you know Americans are nosy? Don't you know? I had a neighbor, we used to call them the nosies. Because I don't care what you did, they peeked out their fucking window. And they watched out the window. And if you look at Americans and you look how many people are taught to tell, we're taught to tell.
Well, I mean, let's just look at it.
I go back to that because you know I'm always going there because my mama beat my ass over that. That was a whooping in my house. Run your mouth, you got whooped. Smooth did it!
So the summons... The summons directly...
Smooth down there eating bonbons.
The summons specifically requests an explanation and renewed demands for talks on protection of personal data, as well as pledges that the surveillance would cease. That's from the French government.
And what we say, hell to the no, what you gonna do?
Fight us?
How did we get that far into their place anyway to be able to wiretap all them? That's my question.
Gathers foreign intelligence of the type gathered by all nations. We've begun to review the way that we gather intelligence so that we properly balance the legitimate security concerns of our citizens and allies with the privacy concerns that all people share.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, nothing.
Right. And what you gonna do? See, that's that bully shit we be doing.
Right.
And what you gonna do? See, they didn't put that, they didn't write that down. But they know what they meant and what you gonna do. Matter of fact, it's 5 million and 2 now, and we're getting them too. We're wiretapped to 2 already. 5 million 2. Hey man, you know, as I watch the news, and I always think to myself, you know, that as I've done it now for quite a few years myself, and have stayed in tune with doing internet television and radio, that we've had to stay on top of the issues. And the biggest theme in the issues is what you see is not what it is.
Right, you usually have to read 4 stories and draw the lines around in a circle to see that it's a circle.
Right, and then you get the facial imprint. once you get sixth one in there, because you get the nose and the lips. Like, and that's what they do. And because Americans have gotten so lazy, they put this information in your face.
Right, why
Like
why do you buy all? Because it's the stain lifter. Why do you
Like,
buy
they might not
Tide?
put it in
Because
all.
whatever the commercial says. You
Right.
don't really have these experiences. You've never compared the two side by
Most
side.
of the times you don't even
freaking
want
know.
a Big Mac, but they put a Big Mac commercial in your face for 3 weeks in a row when they want to sell Big Macs, and all of a sudden now that dollar Big Mac on sale with the creamy special sauce, lettuce, cheese on the sesame seed bun. It's the Big Mac. You can even add bacon. And you keep hearing this all day. And if you're a Big Mac eater, you're going to go get a Big Mac. Unconsciously, not knowing, they talked you into the Big Mac. The Taco Bell commercial during football season. How many times people top into Taco Bell for tacos, and before you know it, they just stopping at Taco Bell all football season. You've been programmed. Simple marketing,
Right. And then
but
again,
programming at its finest.
Bundy takes it to the point that there are people who get this and don't get this on the level, and we're barraged with things that we create the people like Bundy because they get to the point where they do everything right and they're not living the high life like the commercial says.
Right.
And what the fuck is wrong with this society? Well, it's my asshole boss and it's this jerk holding me down because it can't be me. I'm doing everything right.
Right.
And our media also draws this egocentric, I guess, thing to where being famous for being a friggin' Kardashian is a wonderful idea. I must
She needs a
desire
star.
to do this myself.
I need
You
to
know,
learn
or
how to take it
to be
first.
Nookie, whatever her name, Snooki.
Well, at least
Nookie,
Snooki, at least Snooki recognized no talent and started learning. See, I give her all the credit in the world because she did something Kim didn't do. For one, when she got in the big moment, you look, Kim's already hitting the runway shows. Snooki took a year away after she had her baby. Like, she settled down from the drunk Snooki and then turned into a mom. Like, she's really transformed. Like, I have to give her that credit. And for her to be, at the time that she got on MTV's Jersey Shore, she was the lowest paid actress, a reality star, whatever you call them. And within one season, because she crazy than the motherfucker, she was the highest paid motherfucker from there to the end of the show. And she launched a lot of business. And if you look at it still today, where almost everybody from the Jersey Shore disappeared within 2 years, Snooki's still on all the talk shows. She's hosting shit. She's turned into a little mogul. She's took her money and flipped it. And that's what I have to give her credit is she wasn't as dumb as all of. She's doing the Oprah.
Right.
Because they thought she was the dumb, bounce your butt on the floor, Jersey drunk. And the little chick actually turned out to be a little bit smart. As dumb as she acts, either she was smart enough to put good people around her to make sure she invested right, or she's smarter than she acts.
Probably a little bit of both.
Because, I mean, she's been very successful, and for the way she acts, you would
Might just have
expect
a
to
good
see her
manager.
dead broke. I would doubt that. Oh, it was only a genius she did that herself. It was only a genius of how she went from the lowest paid to the highest paid in the first place, and then maintained it. Because each season, it was a potential of whoever's the funniest got the best pay. And nobody could out Snooki. How would you think the guy with a six-pack set of abs, the chick with nice big plastic boobs, like none of these people who you'd expected to be the highest paid person on the show couldn't outperform this short, frumpy girl that supposedly be the airhead? Well, she wasn't that much of an airhead because she sure enough knew how to get more bread. Now, if she was an airhead, she would have never knew to say, I need more money. Somebody should have noticed then she wasn't dumb as they thought. Because other than that, she would have came into the second season like, woohoo, and I'm still on TV. She wouldn't have came into the second season like, woohoo, and I need more money. More money.
I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is there are far too many kids who are expecting to become the next Snooki.
That's why I'm glad she did what she did, because she has totally turned around the drunk party girl look and showed that you can grow up. And
don't-
that's why I want
no,
to
I
applaud
mean,
her for
I
that.
mean, there's far
'Cause you
there's
got,
far
like,
too
Kim
few
Kardashian.
reality shows out there. You're more likely
look-
to become a pro athlete than to be
But
on
look
a
at
reality
Kim.
show. That's
She's
gonna be
just
a
had
run.
that baby. She's already touring Cannes and she's already places without the baby.
Right.
Like she's already moving around a lot without the baby. The difference in what I'm saying is Snooki recognized I got pregnant, I had a baby. Now my baby's my priority for this moment. I'm gonna get my career back hot. But I gotta put this time into the baby for this moment. And Kim hasn't recognized to do that. Kim hasn't recognized that now you have to put on the big girl shoes. You walked around and you played the game for the 9 months and the media games and take a picture and what's the baby's name? Well, now it's time to be a mama. That's what I'm saying. She's still thinking this move around Kim instead of.
Well, who do you think is more of a hands-on mom, Angelina Jolie or Kim Kardashian?
I would say Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
and
by
she
far.
has how many kids?
Right, and I think they only have one maid. How many maids do you think Kim Kardashian has and one kid?
And she takes them everywhere, even on the movie sets.
Right.
So to tell me you're going to Cannes without your baby, right? Because when you see her at the Cannes, the baby's at the hotel. That's all I'm saying. So in the reality world, there's been some successful reality people, and there's been some flops. Like your boy Paul, Pauly Paul from Jersey Shore. He's touring, DJing. He's just what he was before he became a DJ. Now he's just DJing all the major shit. Hell, he DJ the America. It's America. He was DJ. He DJ'd the freaking Miss America. Who DJs right before they announced Miss America? They never did that, but it was there, Pauly D. I was cracking up. I thought it was wonderful though because he's breaking bridges for DJs and he's once again doing good business coming from a reality show format. Now then you got those hookers and whores that fall off the map and go back to Dragon that made it a bad eye because really the reality show has spawned a lot of great stars. And it has spawned us a lot of airheads. Kim, hey babe. Don't get me wrong, she's got bread. If I had to give Snooki the same mogul love, I'd have to give it back to Kim though, because she has took doing nothing into a whole lot of money.
Yeah, see, Kim was born into it though, so money makes money.
Yeah, but if you look at her story, she's actually been a hustler since a teenager. She made her dad let her work with him for real work, and then she started an internet auction thing on eBay where she was auctioning off jeans and selling people's old clothes out their closets for them and making a profit. And she started making a good bit of money doing it. As a young, see, this is stuff nobody knows about Kim. See, I'm one of those guys, I've been on TV too long. I've had to investigate folk. But, so, you know what I'm saying, she's more business-minded than most people think. That's why once they gave her break, you couldn't get rid of her. She knew how to finance her money. And her mom is a numbers genius. She knows how to make shit out of shit. Because it's still shit. It's not great, it's shit. but the people like the shit. And if you can make people like shit, you're a great salesman. And we need to hire some of them. So if you know how to make shit out of something, come hire with us. Because we actually have a very beautiful model. And it's not shit. So you can sell something actually marvelous. I just want to give a shameless plug. So, we're coming to the end. Is there anything long here that you want to smack in the face to make sure we don't forget?
No, I wish we had more time to hit the wonderful AA, II, and all of that stuff from the weekend, but we'll catch up with that.
We'll be back on at 11. We'll go deep into the rally talking.
Yeah.
Midday Burns coming up. On this note, I'm going to take y'all out with a little bit of music, and thank you for tuning in to Monday's Breakfast Bowl. We'll see you next Monday.
What's new with figure name crack cocaine? Him and Mary Jane had a son they named Primo, who was mixed by his dad, Cocaine. What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? Him and Mary Jane had a son named Name. What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? Him and Mary Jane had a son named Name. What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? Him and Mary Jane had a son named Name. What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? Him and Mary Jane had a son named Name. Primo, who was mixed by his dad, Cocaine. And Blow was his other hoe, she loved that man. The bitch was stuck up with her nose in the air, while X and Pilly Pill was fucking marrying them. Everybody knew Cocaine by the neighborhood pit. He had everybody hooked, even Pilly and them. So Cocaine and Pilly, her ex got together. And Pillow and Pipe, they know to smoke like brothers. And both of them got with her Ron, who had the guns. Well, Officer Jack knew that Pilly was on the run. The gang T, Officer Jack, and Patron. The bitch Tequila, she was snitching all along. Cause the homegirl Corona moved to California, gave Pilly the scoop. Now Cocaine, he got warrants. Gang T, 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 gang T. What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine? What's new with figure name, crack cocaine?
No, I said to myself, I say self, myself said who?
AFXPILLS, King of the Drunken Mix, YouTube.com/DJFXPILLS. Look it out. Beats by that. Pay. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut us out. Whoa, you better cut us in. Yes, sir. Boy, you better cut it out. See, it seems in my city people really got problems. Old school cats got a way we can straight solve them. Yeah, we go on the tracks and spit that fluid. You know that fluid make your bride wanna do it to it. Did I say that out loud? My fault, dog. You wish you had the money in my pocket. My fault, dog. This punk no more. We tellin' niggas straight up. Get with it to get away from it. Straight up. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut us out. See, El Presidente, Mr. F.A. X.A. He's a for she's a. Huh. Y'all been woofing and now I'm back. Come to run the city now. You can have that. I need the world in my hands. That's the song that the kids sing.
You heard him, man.
Yeah, you could call me Gambino. You can see me rolling doing the coolest thing. Yeah, I like an independent bride. Would them go get the prize for the road with you. See, I be coming around that mountain ringing gold, diamonds, and dollars, and every time they holler why. I like that call, get it, gold, diamonds, and dollars, and every time they holler why. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut us out. See, I'm standing toe to toe like Wide Herb. I think I hear it, whose phone start to chirp. I think he calling the wrong dudes with badges. Snitching was his mama's thing, she never told him that. Tired of telling he used to beat you as a child, but now that boy's steady teaching when he's wild.
Nobody taught them loose lips and ships. Too much information kills. Slap that bitch at Bill. Can we do it again? He's always feeling that straight up pain. Every time he think about it, boy, everything never turns the same. From the M-I-L-E-H-I-G-H. Every time I go through, boy, I'm super proud. Every time I'm screwed, cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut it out. Cut a scene or cut us out. You can find me in the red carpet, red carpet, red carpet. Yes. You can find me in the red carpet, red carpet, red carpet. Yes. You can find me in the red carpet, red carpet, red carpet. Yes. You can find me in the red carpet, red carpet, red carpet. Yes. Welcome to Filthy Rich TV, your visual outpost. It's the home of OneBluntRadio.com, SOS. It's also the home of RPSRadio.com. That's Real Power Sports. Boom, boy, power. Also the new home to NYSportsTV.co. That's right, NYSportsTV.co. National Youth Sports TV. Launch. Oh, yeah. And like I said, that's 24/7 sports for the adults and the youth right there. Along with Filthy Rich TV, it's also the home of CushChronicles.com, our wonderful mobile appazine. You can also check out SmokingColorado.info. That's our site for all our recreational users. You want to find out where the best buds or the laws or anything going on in the recreational realms, you can go to SmokingColorado.info. You can also tune in to, you can also tune in to DrDBKush.info. That's DrDBKush.info. And you can stay on the wonderful ride with me. You can see all the trophy things that the doctor does all over the country. And yes, it's that site, 1BR.co. It's the brand. You can also hit that up. You can check out our wonderful site at finesse.co, and you can get websites, app stud, all of your technical tech support, sponsoring, and all. You are tuned in to Filthy Rich TV, your visual outpost, and the home of One Blunt Radio. SOS, smoke one, son.